While thousands of Americans have recovered from COVID-19, many are still feeling isolated and lonely. Chris Conte sat down with one COVID-19 survivor who wants others to know they aren't alone.
It is hard to imagine that surrounded by landscapes like this, any resident of Cohasset, Massachusetts would be struggling as much as Kelsey Hinley right now.
I think it's a lot about the fear of the unknown.
As a high school French teacher, Kelsey spent the beginning of the year looking forward to a trip abroad to Europe with her students in February. It was before the U.S. went into lockdown. She'd felt a little sick before leaving, but it kept getting worse.
I just remember this pain that I've never felt before. It was muscular and it was all the way to the bones.
By the time Kelsey flew back to the U.S., news of the coronavirus was everywhere. Eventually, she was diagnosed with the virus, only the second person in her entire state. People she'd never met in town were suddenly taking to social media, concerned Kelsey had somehow spread the virus even though she was in quarantine. Some said she should leave town.
My anxiety level has never been that high in my entire life. I felt so bad. I felt like I had done something to people.
Months later, it's that kind of survivor's guilt that Kelsey wants other people to understand. A sense of isolation that she and thousands of other Americans who have had COVID are now experiencing.
Unless you've been sick, you don't understand how it feels. It just feels extremely isolating, I'll tell you that.
Hesitant to tell her story at first, this 28-year-old wants other COVID victims to know they aren't alone.
But I want people to look at people like me and the others who have recovered and see that we do get better. And not just that we do get better, we do move on with our lives. And that's really important as well. Don't hold this against people just because we got sick.
As for life now, Kelsey is back to teaching. And like the rest of us, cautiously moving forward into an uncertain future.
As more and more people get better, I hope that the general public doesn't see this as a death threat.
In Cohasset, Massachusetts, I'm Chris Conte reporting.